Hey everybody, this is TyCasts, bringing you another cast out of the round of 16 of ASL Season 13, Group A, and this one's going to be between RoyaL, that you can see here, a really strong up-and-coming Terran player, and his opponent is going to be Rain, just a classic, old-school Protoss that has had a tremendous career. I think we saw there that RoyaL's record in the ASL isn't the best. His win rate versus Terran is only 30%, but there's very few games, and I think the consensus is RoyaL is one of these new Terrans, new blood that everyone really has to watch out for. He's really strong these days. Here's Rain, and check that, just absolutely ridiculous, disgusting versus Protoss mirror matchup win rate of 84%. His Terran win rate is a little bit lower, but there are fewer games, still quite a few games, 9 to 13. But Rain is just, he's a previous ASL champion. He's had a really long history of achievements in big tournaments, pretty big prize winnings. And so he's kind of like a mainstay, fan favorite for this entire tournament, actually. Well, maybe not in this current state, but he's got a lot of fans for sure. And he's got a lot of confidence too. In group selection, he was pretty nonchalant, saying like, I don't care which group I get into, I'm just gonna play my best and beat my opponent, essentially, is what he said. RoyaL over there on the left, looking like a killer a little bit. So let's see how this goes. Alright. So our match between these two is going to take place on Vermeer. Again, it's a big map, lots of expansions, and on the bottom left here we got Terran, RoyaL, and on the bottom right it's Rain, Protoss, warping in. That last match that we saw between Mini and Light was just such an awesome match that Protoss vs Terran sometimes can get a little grindy, but that last one was just full of excitement, so I'm really hoping that we're going to see some excitement here too. If I recall correctly, Rain in the round of 24 matches was just completely dominant. He was looking invincible, which is just so exciting for his fans. Somebody that's coming back after a pretty long hiatus. He actually became like a variety streamer for a while. He wasn't really dedicated to StarCraft for, I think, like maybe even a few years. And then just recently, there's been a bit of a resurgence in the interest for StarCraft. Rain's come back. He always has a ton of viewers on his Africa TV stream. So it's just awesome to see him in what I think is his, in top form kind of. I think he would say that he's not in top form, but he looked really strong in the round of 24. He looked like he was just never in trouble in any of those matches. Alright, we got a low ground barracks coming up for RoyaL. And a gateway in the main for Rain. And got a probe scout coming across. Gonna scout the bottom left position first, so that's good for Rain. He's gonna find his opponent pretty quickly. Assimilator coming up for Rain and a Cybernetics Core. Pretty standard looking stuff so far. Let's see what this probe can do. I'm sure he's gonna start putting a little damage on that SCV. Yep. He's gonna try to just harass that a little bit. 2 SCVs coming down for RoyaL in response. One of them is gonna replace that hurt SCV, while the others try to deal with this probe. Alright, RoyaL took his gas pretty quickly here. a lot of times the Protoss is trying to put an assimilator on that geyser to deny the gas, and Royal, I think, he may have skipped an SCV to get that refinery up a little quicker to prevent that gas steal. These openers look pretty similar to the mini versus light game, where we have low ground barracks coming out of the Terran and just a single gateway and early cybernetics core for the Protoss. Early range, you can see the cybernetics core spinning there, and the Dragoon is probably going to pop out real soon here. Command center going down on location for Royal. And here's Rain kind of hiding a pylon there in the bottom left corner of his base. You know, that doesn't necessarily signify much, but it's nice because he can put a tech building there that may not get scouted by a single scan on his main base, and it serves as kind of like a spotter for dropships in the future. We got that Dragoon chasing the scouting SCV up there towards the middle of the map. Rain taking his natural Nexus and not looking to exert too much pressure at the moment. Just looking to get his natural base. Alright, finally takes out that scouting SCV over there in the top left corner. And now Rain, I imagine, is going to come forward with these Dragoons and maybe put a little pressure on the bunker. I'm not sure. One of the Dragoons is coming down, but the other is kind of scouting out over there on the right side of the map. Alright, 2 Dragoons make their way and start hitting this bunker. Okay, I'm sorry, that was not a Dragoon, that was actually a probe that went to the 3rd base there. Factory with a machine shop coming up for Royal. And once again, you see this dance between Protoss and Terran where you have to match the number of Dragoons with equal numbers of SCVs to repair, and it's actually it's a little tenuous, because if you actually have more SCVs than Dragoons, then the SCVs repair the bunker too quickly, and then once the bunker reaches max health, they stop repairing. And if you just look away for a few seconds, the Dragoons will take down the bunker. So you want to make sure you have the same number of SCVs, no more, no less. Alright, we got a tank now on the low ground. The barracks lifted to allow the tank to start shelling the Dragoons and trying to push them off of the bunker. 4 Dragoons have made their way towards Royal's base now, and he's going to move forward for a snipe on this tank, and he gets it. 4 Dragoons actually take control of the ramp and get up the ramp. This is pretty big. Royal has pulled a ton of SCVs to try to gain control of the situation. Another tank just pops out of the factory right in time. These SCVs are doing a good job kind of zoning out these Dragoons, and that tank with its great range is able to to start gaining control of the situation. 1 Dragoon remains, is sitting behind the mineral line, but I think Royal handled that pretty well. I think he just lost 1 tank, and now he's losing a few Marines, probably a couple SCVs, but for 4 Dragoons, not too bad. In the meantime, Rain has thrown down a Nexus at his 3rd base location there at 3 o'clock. An observer is coming across the map. I think Royal only lost 1 tank in that exchange. If he lost 2, I would say that'd be a pretty big advantage for Rain. But since he only lost 1, it's not too bad. And you know, he probably lost a fair amount of mining time because he had to pull so many SCVs. But overall, I'd say not too bad for the Terran. That observer is in the Terran base, able to kind of scout out everything. He sees that Terran has a single factory and a second one going up right now. He sees that siege mode has been researched and the tank count as well. Is there an engineering bay? Where is that engineering bay?
이 테란 입장에서 천만다행이죠. 지금 스캔 두 방이 너무나도 훌륭했기
I
때문에
feel like usually Terran would have an engineering bay at this point.
그러면서 쫓아갈 수 있는 발판
You know, you kind of want
보내면서
to
트리플 쪽 활성화 들어갑니다.
make sure that DTs can't just get in here.
그걸 전부 다 바라보고 있는
Starport going
정유정
down.
선수고요.
I'm not sure, maybe I missed the engineering bay. Maybe it's towards the bottom of his base, but I don't see a single turret. And we saw,
확인하고 있습니다.
well, I shouldn't say, but anyway, you know, DTs could, we see that they're not coming into play. Maybe Royal actually scanned Rain enough to see that DTs were not the tech of choice, and we see that it's not, and instead it's a robotics with a support bay and a shuttle coming across right now with, I think there's a couple zealots in there. But yeah, you know, not a single turret. Nice scan on that observer right there to kind of gouge out the eyes of the Protoss prior to this shuttle drop. Alright, we see a Citadel coming up now and a couple more gateways. And for Royal, a third command center coming down. Royal's got his units positioned very well for a defense against this slow shuttle play from Royal. So a slow shuttle is not going to cut it when there are Goliaths with the Karn booster upgrade on the perimeters of the Terran base. There's still a observer right there in the middle of Royal's base, able to kind of keep an eye on everything. I imagine that one's going to stay there for quite some time. We saw two armories. Was that two? I saw two armories coming up. You know, kind of indicating that Royal wants to get into a bit of a later macro game. Yeah, I see two armories, and as well as a science facility. So this is just shaping up into a game that's going to go, you know, pretty safely into this mid or even late game here. Couple Dragoons still kind of controlling the front of Royal's base. Just want to make sure that he gets to see if anything's coming out. Royal, another thing of note is that Royal has gone pretty light on the Vultures. I don't think he has speed or spider mine tech yet. Okay, finally we have a couple turrets going up. Here's one that's going to push that observer away, but the observer does get to see that the third command center is attempting to land at that third base. So, Rain... Alright, we got a pretty big engagement here. Two speed shuttles dropping Zealots and a Reaver on top of the siege tanks, while that arc of Dragoons is coming down, getting some great shots on the siege tanks as they try to take the third base. And this was a really good engagement for Protoss. Rain, I think, maybe should back up now. Yep, so he starts to back up, but he took down probably 2, 3, maybe even 4. He's going to get these two as well. There's still that one tank up on the ledge that's kind of controlling the situation, but that was a really good engagement for Rain. He was standing in a really good arc. He had 2 speed shuttles that perfectly, you know, as soon as those tanks sieged outside of their base, the shuttles were there ready to drop right on top of the tanks, and Royal's Vulture count wasn't very high, so he wasn't able to take out those Zealots very quickly. Now we see reinforcement, 6 more speed Zealots coming in, but there's only 3 Dragoons left. Alright, here comes the Zealots trying to come forward here. We've got an observer overhead that's able to see what's going on. I think, you know, Rain's really kind of making a point here. He wants to make it very difficult for Royal to take his third base, and I think these engagements are favoring the Protoss just a bit. But that one tank on the ledge there is just so perfectly positioned to give Royal like just a fighting chance here against this Protoss. pressure.
네, 지금 2시에
In the
중앙
meantime, I see on the
공격으로
mini-map
이어나가는
that
정윤
Rain is
선수입니다.
taking a fourth base in the top
오,
right. Ooh, this shuttle has just flown right on top of the bunker. Okay, it's fine. There's probably only one Marine in that bunker. Alright, finally he's dropping 2 Zealots on that tank on the ledge. The Vultures are there to try to stop it, but those 2 Zealots take out that tank on the ledge, and then the rest of the tanks on the low ground are destroyed as well. SCVs are getting pulled, but these Dragoons are starting to get really good, really efficient fighting here because the numbers of tanks has just gone down a lot. Spider mines are being laid, but none of them connect. And a ton of Zealots. We see that Rain has just macroed a ton of Zealots behind this, and now I see them. They're very quickly sprinting across the map to try to end this game. I think Rain smells some blood in the water. He's up about 60 supply. 90 to 155. Zealots flooding into the natural here. There's a couple spider mines, but those get taken down pretty quickly. A couple more spider mines at the third base, but he splits off 3 or 4 Zealots into the SCV line of the third base. Now he's getting up the ramp, getting Zealots right on top of the tanks, and Royal GG's straight out. And Rain once again showing just some some incredible staying power as this old school pro gamer. I mean, he smacked Royal down pretty decisively there. Not, he wasn't taking big risks or anything like that. He didn't open with any weird like DT or 3-speed shuttle drops, storm drops, nothing like that. He just went into this really strong Protoss ground army composition, really good positioning and pressuring at the right moments. And Royal looked like he couldn't get too much done. Again, just kind of thinking back on that, I think Royal decided to go pretty light on the Vultures and heavier on the tanks. And I think it was a pretty good idea, but what the issue with that is that you can't really gain map control with without like larger numbers of speed Vultures. So I think Rain just felt completely no pressure. He didn't need to protect his own mineral lines really, and when Rain's able to drop the Zealots on the siege tanks and up on the ledge, there just weren't enough Vultures to instantly kill those Zealots. So the Zealots are able to sit there on top of the tanks for a pretty long time, just killing them and forcing friendly fire out of the other siege tanks. So all those engagements were pretty cost effective for Protoss, which Terran really doesn't want that because Terran usually doesn't mine as much as Protoss. Protoss is able to get more bases more quickly, and usually their units are more cost efficient. But in that case, it looked like they were trading, evenly. And if you're trading evenly, Protoss is going to come out ahead, I think. Alright, that was a good one. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks, everyone.